The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Do you need a quick mail out? Do you need to do a quick mail out to your customers? Something short or quick, and you don't need all of the sort of post-email tracking tools that you may know are available through add-on extensions through Workbooks. So good morning. My name is Tim Wilmart, joined today by my colleague Pete Johnson. We are Wizard Systems, and we help out organizations with simple to use solutions to manage their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity with products like Workbooks. So thanks for joining us on this session, a little mini training session, part of our regular series of short Workbooks presentations, focusing on different subjects, topics around Workbooks. And in this session, we're going to cover the built-in mail out tool within Workbooks. Now, this presentation would be about a quarter of an hour or so in duration, just an overview of this feature, not meant to be in-depth training. If you do want to have a need for any training or any help as regards your Workbooks CRM system, please contact us and we can discuss that with you. The audio part of the presentation for those listening live is one way only. If you've got a question, please type that into the question box on your meeting control panel, and we'll do our best to answer those at the end. And the call is being recorded. Afterwards, you will get a link, an email from our system with a link to recording. You can play back when you want to, and it will feature our YouTube channel as well. Just go to YouTube and do a search for Wizard Systems. That's our channel name, and you'll see a Workbooks playlist up there with loads of other Workbooks videos. So brief mention about Wizard Systems. All we do is CRM. We've been doing a long time. We've implemented well over 3,000 systems all over the UK into different types of organizations, size organizations. Mainly we focus on small and medium-sized companies, but we provide the complete service around Workbooks, any kind of help you need, training, and all the ongoing support as well. Okay, so let me hand over to Peter. During the pandemic, we are operating from our home location still at the moment, so we'll just swap over here. Bear with us a second or two.
No problem. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning.
Here we go. So you should be able to see my little slide on the screen here.
Yep.
So good morning to everybody that's attending today. Those that have attended before are aware that I don't show that many slides, but I thought on this session I would just show a slide of the little bit that we're going to take care of, because preparing campaigns and mail shots and mailing lists, I think we've covered a great deal of this in some past webinars, but I'm going to concentrate today just on the mail shot bit. Now, as Tim mentioned, this would be ideal using the mail shot without any of the add-ons or integrations with mailing tools such as the Gator Mail solution we do, MailChimp, Constant Contact, all of those. This is really concentrating on being able to send it via Workbooks using your standard email delivery method. So your domain, your email server, etc. So I'm going to bring in some of these other items, but assume that that has already been taken care of, such as a mailing list, templates, etc. But we're going to have a look at just the mail shot part. And for this, I'm going to go to my standard demonstration system for this purpose and have a look at using the marketing area from the start menu and the mail shot option. So the mail shot is the tool within Workbooks where you can prepare the list of people you're targeting, the template, and then option to send when you're ready. So here I'm going to go into the mail shots landing page. And there's a few in here, previous tests, etc. But I'm going to choose to send a new mail shot. Now, this demo system is linked to the Gator Mail tool, so we're not going to use that in this instance. we're going to use this new Workbooks mail shot button down here. So that means we can use to send a mail shot via Workbooks using your standard email account options. So this takes you into a wizard. So we're going to work through the wizard and select the options accordingly. Now, you can add recipients manually to a mail shot. So this can be a dynamic list or a static list. I'm going to use a previously created mailing list. Those that aren't aware of mailing lists, maybe take a look back at some of our webinars or ask us for help. They're really ideal for creating perhaps a static list that you've got already pre-prepared, top 50 customers, top 10 sales, that type of thing. Or they can be dynamic where they're constantly updated by reports in the background. If I choose next here, here is that list that it's provided. Some are not going to go because they've opted out, so these won't be sent. So don't worry too much about that. Obviously, you need to make sure you're GDPR compliant, etc., for those records, which is probably defined in the report that's building that mailing list in the background. If I choose next here, we can then give this mail shot a name. Let's do Christmas office hours. So this is just an update to perhaps a select number of my top customers, just to let them know what our opening hours are over Christmas and perhaps a particular message and so forth. Now, I am going to send it from this email address here. Yeah, but obviously that's your reply address that you used on your standard account. And if I then choose next, the email template, again, I'm assuming that you've already created this. So I've done one in the background for this session, just a Christmas message. It's a really simple message you can see here, but it's really the process of sending the mail shot that we're concentrating on today. And if I then choose next again, the final screen before we build the mail shot here is any attachments. Not often something that you do, but in these lower volume sent from your location, you may well choose to have an attachment on the email that's going out. And finally, I can just choose complete here. Now, this is the mail shot window that you end up with here. So you can see I've got my recipients from that mailing list in here, and the template and everything else is all ready to send. And the last item that I would do here is choose the button to send the mail shot. Obviously, we can do some customization to this. If you wanted to go and add some extra recipients to this manually, you could. And if you hadn't chosen a mailing list in the beginning, this is where you would add. But the final step here, really simple, really easy, is to choose the send mail shot button here, and off it goes. As Tim mentioned, you don't get all the ongoing stats and so forth back because this is sending through your server, not through a hosted email provider. But ideal if you want to send just a short number of qualified emails. You need to take a little bit of care, I guess, in terms of who you're sending it to and so forth, to make sure they're all compliant with your GDPR policies, and also opted out, of course, or opted in this example for those recipients. So I'm not going to hit send here. I'm sure you can imagine what's going to happen. It's going to send that email, but for this demo, I'm not going to do so. So quick, easy, easy to establish, but you do need to prepare the list and both as well as the template. Tim, anything to add there?
No, other than just repeating that this is a really nifty way that you've got in Workbooks for those certain mailing situations where you want to get out a quick message, nothing fancy, no fancy HTML or graphics, a quick message to a selected bunch of contacts in your Workbooks database, really easy, as you can see. And you don't need those tracking tools to know did they click on that link. You can see there are some, you can put in some basic unsubscribe options. You've also got that send test email capable as well, so you can do a bit of sanity check on that email just to make sure it sort of looks all right before you push the final send mail shot button. Okay, well, those familiar with our format of our weekly sessions, we now open it out to any questions you've got around this feature. So please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel. First question from Simon. What's the maximum number of emails we can send? I guess that's
okay.
Day or
Yeah. I mean, there's no real send maximum options within Workbooks at all for that mail shot. You can send many thousand, but what does restrict that or control that number is your email server or your email provider there. For an example, I think Office 365, I think Office 365 split it. They have something like a 10,000 per day limit on emails. So that allows large organizations to send many emails. But I think they have a maximum of 500 emails per single email send. So this would be one of those single email sends. So I think there's a 500 restriction on there. Hope that helps, but check with your provider.
Simon's saying, does that also include their ad hoc emails, their sort of one-off emails as well? That I guess it would.
Yes, so just check what your daily limit is from your provider. So whoever you get your email services from, so that would be your account details. So 365 or Google, or maybe you have some local service. They'll have some limits that you need to investigate so that you don't hit those limits with this feature.
Okay, Johnny asking, is there a danger of being identified as a spammer?
Not if you don't send any spam, really. There's spam. The topic of spam and getting detected as spam is a very large topic and lots of investigation. But I would say concentrate on two things: one, the content, and the other, the audience that you're sending to. Obviously, with content, just be careful that you're not sending spam. I always say to people, if you're sending some kind of spam messages, then you're going to get detected as spam. It's there's lots of spam filters out there looking for triggers in many different ways, content, words, the way that it's built. Send yourself a test message, or maybe subscribe to an email testing tool. There's many of them out there, so you can actually send your email across to get them checked, and they give you a response back prior to you sending it. So always check that type of thing on the content. Look for the obvious things, and sometimes not obvious. Don't put the word specialist in your subject line. For example, specialist has the word Kylist in it, which is a Viagra substitute, for example, and can be detected by spam tools. So just be very careful with the content there. The other one is audience. Make sure you check the audience that you're sending it to. In this example, remember you are sending it via your servers, so it's got your domain. So if somebody blacklists it, it's your domain name that's blacklisted. So make sure your audience is, you've got consent or you're whitelisted by them. Agreed. Maybe you have some preference options and use those. So in your person record, maybe have allowed to send newsletters. Make sure you've got consent for those, maybe GDPR compliance, that type of thing. We can help you with a lot of this type of information in a longer session, but you can hear me going on. It's a long topic, but yes, you do have that chance of getting detected as spam, just in the same way as any email you send. Okay, hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about the word specialist, but it just goes to show you don't know necessarily who your recipients are as such, and you've got to be careful with the wording. Fran, have you covered mailing lists before on these sessions?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think we
back in
did.
the summer.
Yeah.
Let me just have a look here. Yeah, it was mid-July. Fran will send. Well, you just got to our YouTube channel. You'll see it there on the list of videos. But I'll send you a link later on, Fran, to that. Right. Don't think there's any more questions coming through. Thanks, the three of you there. So we're done. Thanks very much for attending our session today. Those listening live, thanks very much indeed. If you've got any ideas for future workbooks, topics like this, please contact Tim or Tim or Peter at wizard-systems.com. We'd be happy to hear from you and consider that for future topics. But thanks very much for those of you listening live, and we'll catch up with you on the next session. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.